Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys, and today we're here to talk about Dragon Ball Kai, episodes 1 and 2. Not playing any music today because this is a very, very, very serious topic that we here at Those Guys feel very strongly about. And of course, here with me is my other host, Tristan Walter, who is not able to be on the air at this point. He will be put on shortly because of technical difficulties on our end. Yes, very technical and very, very, very difficult. But believe me, we're not playing music because, of course, this is a very, very serious topic for us. So before Tristan gets on the air, I will talk about my personal. Before I even talk about my personal Dragon Ball Z experiences, and how Kai has kind of changed things up just a bit. I will give you our phone number. Yes, our call-in number. If you want to call in, please do. The number is 718-664-9468. And yeah, if you want to call in again, talk about the first episode when we're on it, or the second episode, the number being 718-664-9468. Also, if you want to use that number as a number to listen in, because you can do that as well, please do that. The number is just the same, 718-664-9468, but when you call in, don't press 1. And if you don't press 1, we'll realize all you want to do is listen, right? But we'll see you there on the line. And at any point, if you want to talk to us, press the 1 button. We'll be notified, and we'll put you through. Thankfully, our difficulties are over. Hello, Tristan.
Hey, George, what, Matt?
No. You're not in the future. I thought. Were you?
So many androids. So many.
All right. So if this is anyone listening to our first show, first off, listen to our movies, our DBZ movies. We've done some fun stuff, we've done some fun stuff. Tristan to save the universe countless times. It happens. Android invasions, it happens. But no, this time I was under the assumption. And again, it's just me, that we were having technical difficulties in the present. In no way did I realize they were linked to the future. Go figure.
Everything's always linked to the future, Matt. Everything.
I'm good for the future, I guess. It needs to stay relevant in the present, because no one ever thinks of the future. Everyone just endless spending, endless waste. Because it's not our problem, right, Tristan? It's our kids' problem.
Oh, no, sure. It'll be it'll be the future's problem. Oh, we'll have it figured out by then. Yeah, we'll fix everything. Androids everywhere.
That sounds accurate. So anyway, I was telling everyone, first off, I told them the call-in number. Right. I told them, I assume you weren't able to listen. I told them the call-in number. I, of course, introduced us, so they know who you are now. They know where you live. And if they don't like this podcast, they know where to find you. And also, of course, we were going to give off our our DBZ stories, because we've given off our Dragon Ball Z stories before, but because it ties in with Kai, let's just kind of do it right now. Let's just talk about our first time experiencing Dragon Ball Z, right? Then our first time experiencing Kai. Go.
First time, huh?
Yeah.
Well, if I remember correctly, the first time I think I saw Dragon Ball Z, it was definitely on the Toonami block.
Well, right, yes,
and
of course.
They were in the middle of the fight with Raditz.
Oh.
And I think it was probably, at that point, they were repeating the series or repeating the episodes, I think.
Yes, they did that. They did that a
think
lot.
About it, Piccolo and Goku fighting Raditz, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. And
yes.
I couldn't even begin to think of what I was getting into, because I'm sitting there staring at them and I'm like, okay, we have one guy in an orange gi. Okay, that's cool. We got another green guy in a purple.
So at the age of 5, you knew what a gi was.
Yeah.
Okay. You were 5? Do you know if you were 5 or if you were 7? Because I know, actually, you had to be 7, I believe, right? No? Wait a minute. No. Toonami, it came on the Toonami block in 1997. So, but you may have been 7 and seeing repeats. Or
yeah,
6?
I think I was in fact 7 when I saw
Okay.
when I saw it the first time.
Got it.
And then I saw Raditz with huge hair and battle armor.
Right.
And then they started fighting, and I'm like, huh, okay.
Yeah. So in your eyes, you see a guy with bedhead and an orange gi. You see Broccoli Man as his sidekick, and they're both fighting 80s hair metal dude. Got it.
And I don't remember whether it was before or after. I think it was after Raditz deflects the Kamehameha wave and after Piccolo uses his first special beam cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was, he was one-armed already, Piccolo, and I think
right.
it was
That's
basically
not a weird
Goku going after Raditz to hold him off so Piccolo could charge up another one. Because then I see him start charging up, and I'm like, oh, shit, what is going on?
Right.
And I think it, cut out, before the end of the episode. It's like, will Piccolo hit him with the special beam cannon or something to that effect, or maybe I changed the channel, I don't remember. But I think after that, I checked again, the same time around, maybe a day or so later, and I saw it again, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just sit and watch this now?
Fair enough.
That's how it started.
Right, and before we move on to Kai, I'll mention, so my story involved, I think I was 5, but I was probably 7 as well. And I was flipping through the channels, and I was watching something called Are You Afraid of the Dark on Nickelodeon. And not only was it a repeat episode, not only was it a repeat episode that I've already seen, but I think I sat there and thought, why do I want to shit my pants twice in the same year? So I decided, I already did it once, so let's not do that again. So I changed the channel, and immediately I changed it to Cartoon Network because it's that's just the major channel. For me, being in New York, Time Warner Cable, it was, at the time, it was 6 was Nickelodeon, which is still standard, but Cartoon Network has kind of flipped around. It used to be 22. And, of course, think about the old cable boxes that were just the red counters. You know what I mean? Where it's not, now it's just hey, look, it's the time. Hey, look, it's this. No, back when it was just there is one square. Right, and it is counting from 1 to whatever number it went up to at that point. So I go from 6 to 22, and I'm kind of just closing my eyes, right? And then I open them, and there's these 2 guys that are floating, and I'm like, that is unusual. And and these 2 guys were Goku and Vegeta, and Vegeta was basically saying, hey, screw you, Kakarot, right? And Goku was like, well, guess what? Son Goku, and then he kind of just went went to attack him again, because this was obviously in the middle of their fight. They weren't doing the stances or anything. So you sit there and you're just and again, think about this, right? You're a kid at the time. This is Toonami, yes, but it's still in my eyes for me the start of their block. Now I know they had programming before Dragon Ball Z and before most of the Japanese animated stuff, but usually it was very a cartoon. It was still American cartoons. So even if I had watched Toonami then, it still would have, not been that off to me other than Moltar, right? But, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so most of the cartoons for me right now were Rugrats and, not anything Hey Arnold just yet. So I'm kind of just all right, these are the versions of cartoons that I know. And then I just see 2 guys floating in air, and then they just start shooting energy beams at each other. And I'm like, this is not exactly what I'm used to, and that may be why I enjoy it so much. Right?
Yeah.
And what's funny, yes. You were saying?
No, I just wanted to say that was the other thing. It was so incredibly different at the time. I mean, just the art style, the dialogue, the flying, the energy beams. It was what in God's name is this?
Yeah, exactly. Where it's just one of the situations. People say a lot of things about Haim Saban, and whatever you want to say about him, okay. But that man knew how to go. He knew how to sit there and say, look, this thing is different, right? This thing is unique, and we haven't really seen something like it in America, sort of, as a long-running series, right? We've had Fist of the North Star, but I believe they didn't bring over the series. I believe they brought over the OVA. But I'm pretty sure they brought over the series. But either way, even if they did, it was still such a long gap for America that they're just like, the kids will love it. And if you don't know who Haim Saban is, Tristan, he's that guy who brought over that Power Rangers show, that Super Sentai that turned into that slightly long-running Power Rangers franchise, right? Because he sat there from like the 80s, because Sentai's been around for a while, and Saban sat there from the 80s and said, this will make us money, like late 80s, early 90s, will make us money. And they were just like, okay, sure, whatever. He's like, this will make us money. And, it didn't get adapted until it became a pilot for, in 1992 or 3 with the dinosaur Sentai. I want to say Zero Ranger, but you just wouldn't know. So Zero Ranger, which, by the way, Zero Ranger is coming to America in February. They're actually releasing the Japanese, footage and everything with English subtitles.
Oh, nice.
But anyway, yes, that's a huge accomplishment for Tokusatsu fans. So anyway, So you look at Saban, and again, you can say whatever you want to about him, blah, 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 but it's just the idea that the man knew when he sat there and went, this will make money. Kids will like this. No, you're just mean. Bam. I mean, if you think about it, too, if you don't remember, Digimon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you just start piling this shit on, It's like, oh, I wonder. But anywho, right, so it was very different at the time. And I think you were watching when I stopped watching because they would constantly do repeats. I mean, because if you don't know, Dragon Ball Z didn't first air on Toonami. It was first airing on, like, UPN.
Right.
Because, it was basically just, let's just try to find a way to put it on TV after many failed Dragon Ball dub attempts. Yeah. So they finally put it on TV, but they already got it for syndication. So in other words, immediately it was kind of just put there with 50 episodes. I don't want to say that it's like a pilot because that is not the case, but you could argue that it was in kind of a way of just showcasing where it's like, all right, you bought the syndication rights only for 50 episodes. You've only dubbed like 53 episodes. We're just going to throw them on. And if anyone likes them, and they're just like, oh, my God, we can order more. If not, failed attempt, right? Yeah. And I think, don't quote me, but I think people wanted more. I'm fairly certain that people were pleased. And, now, and then it moved to Toonami, and then it got more episodes dubbed as it was going. But, of course, because of the dubbing process being a lot different than it is in Japan, and also, by the way, being different in the sense that, it was also the 90s, too, where Japan had this down packed already. It was like, one a week. And in the 90s, you were still just like, this is kind of new. We'll do them in patches. We'll do them in blocks. But when that happens, you replay the same episodes over and over again. So by, I think, the second, maybe even third replay, I was like, all right, I'll stop until there's new ones. Because, for us, the show aired daily versus Japan, which was weekly.
Yeah.
So for us, we're just like, daily Dragon Ball Z. After the first run, same daily Dragon Ball Z. Well, not the same for me because I had to catch up with those Vegeta episodes, up to Vegeta. But then after that, I was like, same ones. Maybe I'll go play outside. Right? Maybe I should do something. But yeah. So what is your first experience with Kai? Now that we're here, of course, it being on Adult Swim now isn't our, in North America, isn't our first experience with Kai. But, what was your first experience with Kai in the whole Japanese, it came out 3 years ago, according to the internet. So, what was your first experience with the new updated Dragon Ball Kai?
I think I had heard about it online, and that they were going to, I don't know, bring it over like maybe a year after they were done with in Japan, so something like that. I heard about it online first, and I'm like, okay, is this real? And then I kept seeing stuff about it. I'm like, okay, I guess this is a thing.
Right, of course, because it just sounds so surreal and weird. Well, no, because it's like, yes, but it's just so weird, and we'll get into the specific, the nitty gritty, once you're done talking. But it's a weird kind of undertaking. But continue.
Yeah. So, I mean, the animation, they had new soundtracks for it. So I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. And I don't think I heard anything else about it for a little while, and then I think suddenly I heard somewhere, I think it was my girlfriend's little brother had started going on about, oh, they're bringing Kai to, like Nicktoons or whatever, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I mean, okay,
right.
it had to get on TV somehow, and that's fine. I mean, but it was just like, I'm like, not Cartoon Network?
Well, you blame Ted Turner for that. Ted Turner for a while, and I would argue still, is trying to get away from the idea of paying money to license things that are outside of their kind of inner circle, if you will. So, they'll consider things Cartoon Network made, therefore it's okay. But something like anime, and mind you, I'm not saying that Ted Turner is like scum of the earth or anything, because anime does cost a lot. I am no way saying that it's just, it's like, oh, he's trying to cut costs. No, it does cost a pretty penny, but that's why you've kind of seen, Naruto, Shippuden switch over to Disney. Doraemon, if you don't know what Doraemon is, it's a very long-running Japanese, show about a cat. I mean, I would argue it's a cat. It's been I've never really seen it myself. I've just seen it in pictures of it in passing. That's on Disney XD, actually.
Right.
But that could have been, 10 years ago, that would have been a Cartoon Network show, is what I'm saying. So, that kind of didn't really go there. Obviously, Kai stayed away for a while. And now, of course, just the idea that we have new Kai, right, new Kai in Japan. And they just thought, okay, we'll just air it weekly on the, Adult Swim block with all those nerds go and, they just watch their anime. But it was weird because obviously, it's just like, I guess they decided now. They maybe got the money together or they got enough traction. Toonami, I think, has been with us for like 2 years now, which is even scarier.
Yeah.
Like, we've had Toonami back for 2 years, and we haven't even watched it every week. You have. Right. You've been very strict with it. But even then, there was a point when I'm sure you didn't really watch it. And it's like, Toonami's back!
Well, I mean, since Toonami's come back on Adult Swim, I have watched it pretty much since it came back. I was just like, I guess I really can't sugarcoat it or anything. I fangasmed, I'll admit it.
I did as well, and I'm happy that you've been watching. It's been hard for me on and off because if I miss a week, then it feels like I missed an episode, and I'm a stickler for that. And then also I don't watch forever, and then I feel really bad. It's a weird thing. But usually, if I'm home on a Saturday, I'll watch something on Toonami, or at the very least, I'll mute it and keep it on for the rating. Like, it's just, I watched all of your shows. But anyway, back to Kai. So as you mentioned, it came to Nicktoons, and that kind of weirded you out. But overall, you enjoyed Kai, and it's, and of course it came out in Japan first, but you weren't really watching it in Japan. But you knew that it was out, and you were like, whoa, it's out. Okay, cool. And you're just like, I guess this will never get done. And then, your girlfriend's younger brother said, dude, it's coming to Nicktoons. And you were like, you're a liar, Pete. Go to hell.
I was like,
is that his name?
Can't be right.
Yeah. Is that his name? I want to protect him. Is that his name?
I didn't. Wait, you said his name? I don't know.
I said Pete. Is that his name? No, right? Okay. So then for argument's sake, his name is Pete, quote unquote. Yeah, it's like, Pete, shut the hell up. Go to your room.
But anyway, well, the sad part of it was that I did catch it on Nicktoons the first time I saw it, and it was censored. So, no. I mean, okay, granted, it probably was censored the first time I saw it on the Cartoon Network block because that was primetime television, like 6 o'clock.
Well, okay, you have to understand. Okay, it's weird to bring this up. It was censored on Cartoon Network, obviously. Censored in the sense that, first off, it was also Ocean Dub as well doing it. So they, Haim Saban with Ocean Dub at the time, and Funimation, because technically Funimation was just outsourcing to Ocean Dub, the Ocean Studios. Yeah, they censored it at the time because they censored even more than I think they did later, arguably. Because, let's say the lines were a bit different right? Because they didn't really care too much about localization at the time. The lines were a bit different. We had some very wonky stuff. If Gohan got hit, let's say, because he got hit by Raditz at one point, we didn't see that. There were a few different things that didn't happen, right? Also, you can see, you saw the blow with Goku and Raditz that makes you go, whoa, man, that's like he went through his body. But in Japan, it was a lot different because in Japan, in the original version, he just coughed up blood I was going to say, like there's no tomorrow. Well, there wasn't. He died. So, there's no tomorrow. Just all blood, right? But here's the thing, though. Kai, they didn't do that either in Japan. So, because Kai itself was censored. The only censors that you got from Nicktoons that were kind of icky, and even worse, I think, on something like, on CW11, the 4Kids block. So, Nicktoons, I think they cut out Bardock's scar because I think for some reason they're like, oh, that implies this. So they edited out the scar. That's a huge issue. But I think everything else remained largely untouched, right? You look at the CW block, and the problem with that is you can't, certain things are just like, oh, this is it. So look at Mr. Popo, right? And I think some people might consider him blackface, but I think that it's a bit different than something like Jinx. But I can see why some people would think that Mr. Popo looks a bit like blackface, and then said the FCC, the censors picked this up. So when you watch rips of the Mr. Popo stuff from the CW 4Kids block, he has this blue tint filter only to him, as if you think I need to adjust my TV set. And, and you sit there and you're like, oh, is it like a Blue Genie thing? It was just a way for them to nonchalantly just kind of censor him without actually removing Popo.
Yeah.
But, it was like a palette change. It was very interesting and different.
Yeah. I think it wasn't really blood being in the show, I can understand why they took that out.
Right.
It wasn't so much that. I didn't actually know about the Bardock scar thing. That's a little ridiculous, too. But what really got me was, I don't know if maybe I just didn't notice that they did this when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I'm still not sure, don't take me 100% on this, but I felt like when I saw Kai on Nicktoons, I felt like with every punch, with every blow, there was a split second taken out of that animation to make it, you would see the punch go, then you would see it come back. You would never actually see anyone land a hit. You knew it happened, but
it could be two things.
Specifically see it.
Yeah, it could be. Yes, it could be a censorship thing. We'll notice that more as Kai goes on the Adult Swim, block. So it's more. It could be more of a censorship thing, or it could just be, kind of like the White Flash. But the White Flashes did happen as when we were kids, and I think maybe Japan also just might be overusing it as a boom, 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 boom kind of thing.
Right.
So, or Japan could have censored that themselves.
Yeah, that's why.
That's the thing. I'll be able to check that a bit later. Once we kind of get more into the swing of things. Possibly next week or the week after. Seeing how these episodes will go. We'll definitely write this down and we'll bring it up again in the future. But anywho, so yeah, my first experience with Kai I think was a bit similar to yours, where it's just this is not a thing. I've been tricked before, right? We've all been tricked before. It's not a thing. And also, it's just, it is a thing. Oh, cool. So, it's newly animated? No. Okay.
Well, they got
they got an entirely new opening, newly animated. Then they're taking the old animation. They're touching it up. Great. But only for certain scenes. Oh. It wasn't like the entire show was newly animated in 2D, dude. It was just the same exact animation. Right, a lot of it touched up, and then also cut down for filler. They had filler at least once in the show, though. I forgot what episode it was, but I sat there and I went, "That didn't happen in the manga, you bastards." But usually they're filler free, which is why they have such a low episode count compared to, the original Dragon Ball Z show, which was like 294.
Right.
So they had such a low episode count. And, then they were able to just cut out, and of course, like you mentioned, new soundtracks, also new voiceover work in Japan. So sadly, some of the people that passed away, they had to get some people to replace them. And, in America, many of the people that left, they had to get people to replace them. Thankfully, I love Sean Schemmel because he'll just always come back. Even if he, I feel like the guy said, can say, I'm moving to Antarctica. And they go, okay, cool. Just, whenever we need you for Goku. And he'll say, sure, yeah. Right, because there's just, because there's certain people, and by the way, I'm not trying to, let's say, complain for anyone who left, because, we didn't get, Bulma's voice actress back or Gohan's, and again, I'm not saying that, they're not, hey, people have their own lives, people leave, and, as much as I love Bulma and I love Gohan, those are big roles to kind of fill. But, and I hate to say that so much, because, Gohan was trying to become basically the main character of the show. But guess what? He didn't. So, replacing Goku, I think, is like press the nukes. You know what I mean? Code red. Yeah. Code red. Press the red button. We're all going to die. Where, Gohan, it's harder, but I mean, hey, they had adult Gohan. So when it got to that, or when it's getting to that, because the new episode's focused on the Majin Buu saga, they have an adult Gohan. Voice actor. So It's fine. It was just the kid version that had to have someone new.
Yeah. That's what I kind of wanted to ask you, whether you knew or not, because now the first time Kai was dubbed and brought over here, they only made it up to the Cell saga.
Oh, yes,
right?
That was because not that they only made it up to, that was the only place that Kai went to. Kai stopped after that. And there are rumors that it stops because of its low ratings, or it stops because of the fact that there was a lawsuit going on at the time where one of the guys, one of the composers, right, he was making some really amazing music, right? However, he was doing it by sampling tracks from some of the most famous things that you know about, like Terminator and, and let's say Avatar and things like this. But here's the thing. You can't just sample something. You can maybe, if you're like us, those guys, and let's say we make something not for profit, like just a fun little video. Arguably, you can't, but you can try your best to claim free use. When you're making Dragon Ball Z Kai or Dragon Ball Kai, whatever, I don't like the Dragon Ball Z Kai, but still, when you're making this show, right, he has to get all the licenses together, and the guy didn't, and the composer was doing this for years, because I believe he's famous, or I think he even he didn't compose the original Dragon Ball Z, I believe, but I know he's a huge composer, so it kind of took a blow to them, where it's just this guy was composing our tracks that we don't have anymore, and I heard low ratings. Right, so I heard that they kind of just took a break for a while and they just stopped, and then recently-ish, they brought Kai back. So of course, because and of course that that makes everyone go stand at attention and just go, well, I guess that means we must dub it again, and I guess everything lined up perfectly, because then after Bleach ended, it's just like, oh dear, regardless of what you think of Bleach, and believe me, we have a lot of opinions here at those guys as well. Regardless of what you think about it with Bleach, it's the anime ended, very big, long-running shonen anime. What are you going to replace with it? Dokkan Dokkan Suiteru. Immediately, just Dragon Ball Z just floats on by. Hey, so we got new episodes too, so you can just air the older ones weekly, the older Kai weekly, while you guys get this dub together for the new Kai. And they're just like,
So there's rumor now that they're dubbing the Majin Buu saga too?
That's the thing. This is all conjecture. This is all rumor on my end. I don't have any proof, but I would safely assume that they're putting this on, because think about it, right? The original Kai was 110 episodes, right? That's 110 weeks. We have 50 weeks in a year. We're good. 52 weeks in a year. You know what I mean? In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they started doubling them up. If, let's say they go, Naruto's cool, but we just want Shippuden or something, I wouldn't be, or they go, Attack on Titan is lovely, but I think, didn't Attack on Titan end in America? Both seasons are dubbed? Or am I wrong?
Yes, I believe they ended too, but they're repeating it on Toonami now. They restarted
Yes, I know
from
they're
the beginning.
repeating. Well, and of course, they're repeating it because money. I mean, cash. But I could argue that once they know that there's a dub out for DBZ, they could easily. I'm not saying that they should do this. I'm just saying that they can easily go, okay, these repeats, they aren't doing as well as we thought because after all, we're replaying the same 12 episodes, each and every week. You can double up Kai as well.
That's true.
But anywho, yes. So we've already gone through about half an hour. Let's talk about an episode?
Okay.
I mean, it's weird. Yeah, Ryan's just, okay, whatever, man, whatever. It's weird because I want to sit here but I also realized you said something to me before, a couple days before this show. And you were just like, can we talk about, what can we talk about? It's all pretty standard. It's just and it hit me, which is, this is our standard. It's just, what else do we have to say? Everything's just, it's all just the same, and it's like, oh, no, man, no. Because, think about it. The show started, right, and then Raditz was there, and he was like, I'm here to kill someone. And you were like, oh, man, no. He's like, oh, I'm here to find my brother. It was like, and I was like, oh, man, who's his brother? And then it's just, my brother is Goku. What? No way. Oh, man. I didn't see that coming. Did you see that coming? I was thinking, what if it was Krillin? Because, no, because, what if Raditz was just like, I banished you, brother, because you had no hair. Thanks, man. Right? So, what if he was banished because he didn't have any hair? And what if his, uncle is Nappa? That's what I was thinking. Sadly, I was mistaken. So apparently Goku is this Saiyan guy. Saiyan, I'm pronouncing it right?
English, yeah, Saiyan. That's what they use.
So so Goku is this Saiyan guy from outer space. What's really funny, I think, just putting this out there, I love the idea that the show went from, I know it had sci-fi elements to it previously, but I love how the show went from, it's just kung fu, and it's kind of more mystical in that way, and also it's just out of nowhere, we just start this episode, not just space, we start this episode, and you just hear this, the telenovela music, the soap opera music, where it's just and I'm your brother. No, that can't be. And Krillin's and I'm worth something. Raditz puts him through a house. Not cool, dude.
You're breaking the house. Come on, stop.
Yeah, right. Just guys, that's a very expensive house. Master Roshi worked his life to. No one cares about me, do they? Shut up, person who went through the house. You're not at fault. You're at fault too. Don't think that. So anyway, no, but seriously. So yes, we
Krillin, I told you to watch out.
Yeah, right. So anyway, so yes, so of course Krillin's put through a house, and then Raditz just goes, let me just steal my nephew. Okay, bye. Takes his nephew and runs away. He kicks Goku in the stomach. So Goku is just like, I'm down, guys. I'm good. And for some reason,
it's more of, I'm down in one shot.
Yeah.
The strongest fighter you have on your planet is down in one shot.
What's really funny? You know what's really funny? When and I've never thought about this. We always talk about this during the movies, and I think we have to bring it now to Kai. Just the Dragon Ball Z as a whole. So when you were younger, right, and you first started watching, it all made sense to you in a way. And why did it make sense to you? Because these are the two strongest fighters, and these are the two only fighters on Earth right now that can really take, or at least put up a threat against Raditz. Right? Because, again, this is our first time experiencing Dragon Ball Z. 10 episodes later, we actually have a gang. Where were you? Where were all of you? Even a simple, they all appear, and Goku's like, I got this, guys. Please get on a camera shot. I got this. Right? But none of them were there.
Yeah, even Roshi and Krillin go, we're prepared to back you up, bro. It's like, we're probably going to die, but we're prepared to back you up. And he's
Goku's just like, yeah, no thanks. I prefer Yamcha or Tien, maybe. I wonder where the hell
we've
those
already
guys
wished
are.
you guys back, so we've already wished you guys back, twice? I really don't think we can do that again. It's like,
No. What was it? Roshi was once at that point. Krillin was once.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we couldn't do twice. But Yamcha and Tien were death-free.
oh, yeah.
Death-free since 93. They were just fine. Like, they could have easily...
It's funny, we had no idea about any of that.
Yes, that's the thing. As kids, we had no idea. But now that we can put that, into context, it's just be like, where... Because it's always weird when... because I understand the idea of, oh God, androids, right? That's always a cool concept. But where it's just we cannot sense their energy. Oh dear God, right? But it kind of gets me a little, wonky when it's just giant. There's a giant energy in the West. This might be the big one. Whatever. Okay, cool, Tien. It's just, Tien's just like, I just really thought it would be cool if we just, did yoga. Yeah, I agree. That's cool.
Like,
and
well,
then just under a waterfall.
Goku hasn't come and called us yet, so...
How great would it be if there was an actual call, where it's just, Goku hasn't called us to battle immediately. Z Fighters, assemble! You want to ignore that? I'm probably going to ignore that.
Well,
like you hear it in echo.
You could argue the fact that
you're stumped, aren't you? You're sitting there.
No,
I don't want some of my favorite characters to be assholes. Hey, Yamcha's been an asshole since day one. All right, and Tien, that third eye. What is he hiding?
Oh gosh, I was going to say that I cannot. You won in the sense that, hey, why didn't they sense his power level? Because, holy shit, how many times have I brought that up in the movies?
Yeah, like we always bring that up, and it's always
goddamn power level.
Yeah, and it works for the movies because they're 40-minute romps. But but for the show, it's like, and I get it visually. You only want those two fighting, but just the little things.
But I want to say, aside from they didn't sense his power level, because I can't defend that.
Okay.
Aside from that, I want to say that we had, what was it? We had Krillin and Yamcha. No, Krillin and Roshi were there. Yamcha and Tien were not. Right. It happened so suddenly. The fact that, Raditz, he goes from his ship, considering the amount of time that it would take him to fly across the Earth, which really wouldn't take that much time. Raditz flies, he finds Piccolo, deals with him for a few seconds, and then he goes off to find Goku. And he does this all within the span of, Goku's conversation with Roshi and Krillin and Bulma on their island.
Yes. No, I understand. Arguably, yes.
At the end of all that, he, steals Gohan and he flies away, and then Goku's like, shit, he took my son. I have to go after him immediately.
Right, no, I understand.
Like, even if he'd thought of it, like, oh, I should probably call the other guys for backup. Nope, going after my son.
Yes, no, I understand. It's all kind of heat of the moment kind of thing. No, I don't. All jokes aside, I don't expect Goku to call people for backup. It's just a DBZ thing where they're strong enough at this point that even if it's it's like I consider them supercomputers in the sense that when you're looking at a computer that is tracking, let's say, storms, right? If there's a blip on the map, there's a blip, and they know. They might not do anything about it, but they know. Because they'll be like, oh, it's a small little blip, but they know. I consider them like that in the sense, or if something goes off energy-wise, especially someone like Raditz, who is strongest than they've ever seen. So if Raditz fucking sneezes, that's an energy malfunction that they are not unaware of, and they're like, what's that sneezing power level? That was about a 1,500 sneeze. We should go check that out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because, it's always this thing where you can just assume that Tien is off. It's weird, too, because you're like, oh, no, Tien is just off, meditating somewhere. That is him being at peace with his inner chi. That is when he is at his most, like, I can detect this. Like, unless he's in the middle of a trance, which I'll get. But, just like, he's meditating, he's just becoming one with his inner self. Like, why do you think that he would be able to use that to harness his energy better? God. And then Yamcha,
You see Piccolo meditating all the time, and he'll turn around and go, "What the hell was that?"
Exactly.
It's like,
and then
Tien, like Chaozu just looks over. Tien, did you feel? Shh. Not
yoga.
Gonna deal with it.
Right. And then of course, Yamcha, you can just say, it's weird. Yamcha, you can just be like, oh yeah, he was just off doing things. But I feel like they try to write people off in certain ways, and I enjoyed that. I think after a while. Later on in the show, Toriyama realized, like, even if they're not fighting, we can't just write them off.
Yeah.
Maybe people complained. Maybe he realized. He was like, this is kind of bad. Where it's just, but again, visually, thematically, I get it. The hero, the villain and the hero, or, the anti-hero, technically in Piccolo at this point.
Yeah,
team up
previous
to fight the bigger. Yeah. Yes, team up together to fight the new villain, but in no way is it like, even though we didn't know about Dragon Ball at the time, had someone told us about it, in no way is it like other Dragon Ball stuff where it seems like they just turn good automatically out of nowhere. No, this was Piccolo kind of saying like, okay, I'll still be wary of you. And if needed, I will, not even if needed, just if a Tuesday, I will kill you. Right? Yeah. But as of right now, we'll do this whole, fight this bad guy.
It was funny when I saw that the first time as a kid, and they kind of, gave you that instance of the little, like, the tiny bit of backstory. It's like, Goku, you're not human. That's not as big as a reveal for me as it would be if I had watched Dragon Ball, and that wouldn't. And then, there's also, Piccolo, what the hell are you doing here? Okay, this guy's green. It's like, you're my biggest enemy. Okay. I mean, that's kind of cool. I enjoy that. I have no idea where the fuck he came from, but I enjoy it. It's like, we have to team up. It's like, honestly, I want to destroy this planet with my own hands, and if he does it first, well, kind of a moot point.
Yeah, right. I get that. I get that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's DBZ in a nutshell. That right, if we put but seriously though, if we put what you just said to a Vine, why are Vines in my head? Because Satish and I brought it up yesterday with Heart Gold and Soul Silver as a joke. I'll tell it to you later, Tristan. So anyway, the fans don't need to know. They should be listening to our shows. No, it was just really funny how, we put what you just said to a Vine that was about 6 seconds. And then he was just like, hey, look, I'm green. And then it was just like, oh, hey, if he doesn't destroy this Vine, this is a moot point. Oh, bam, Dragon Ball Z. That's Dragon Ball Z.
Dealing with Raditz anyway.
Yeah, dealing with Raditz. And these first 2 episodes dealt with Raditz. And if I'm, how do you feel about that, by the way? Just 2 episodes. Ding dong, Raditz. Just like immediately, just like kind of just dealing with him. Because I know it's like, oh, well, of course they dealt with him right on the bat in Dragon Ball Z. Not really. If you remember, there's filler. Like, the second we start the show, there's filler.
Right. Well, yeah, the first episode technically is Gohan getting traipsed around by animals and the river.
Yes. Now, I don't think that episode made it to the original broadcast with, the Funimation, Ocean Dubs, Haim Saban guys. Because for us, the first episode was Raditz crashing to Earth. So to you, you're like, well, we already got Kai. Well, no, actually. The original Dragon Ball Z is just, the filler is the first episode. So how does it make you feel? To just kind of immediately get right on in the action.
Well, for that specific filler episode, I figured it was fine because I wasn't really a fan of it to begin with. Some of the actual later episodes of filler, I did enjoy.
Yes, I could.
I felt like it kept, it gave a little bit more depth to some people and what they were doing. They could have fun with it. It didn't have to be completely serious or plot driven. They could, do silly little things that we look back now and look so fondly of it. Driving test. And,
oh God.
And probably the biggest piece of filler that I do enjoy was the Otherworld tournament, and I'm actually very sad that they got rid of that because that honestly was amazing.
Well, yes, but I mean, it really helped the show move along where, it was just kind of, it was a lot of episodes just dedicated to not plot, technically, because they never show up again.
Yeah.
I guess unless in like a random scene or two. But anywho, so...
I mean, you see movies, but...
Right, well, we saw them in one movie, Fusion Reborn. But so in the first two episodes, we saw them in one movie.
Okay, shut up, Kristen.
No, I love you, man. So we have one movie that they appear in, and we have two episodes, and now we move on from Raditz, because Raditz was taken care of in episode 2.
Yeah, I guess they really took him out quick in Kai, huh? I mean,
well, yeah, because the manga, I mean, that's the thing, where I feel like in a certain way, it does really lend itself to the manga. The only difference that I think I noticed that we really should bring up is the fact that the show started off with Bardock. That was interesting.
That I did like.
Yeah, well, of course you'd like that. You Bardock lover. As if I don't like Bardock. You Bardock lover. They started off with Bardock, which was really nice and interesting because, though it's kind of funny because even though he is canon, it's still like it's just the idea. We will start this show with no filler whatsoever. Immediately starts, clips from a movie. Right? Like, yeah. It was technically a special, but still. It would be really funny where it's just like, we're going to be completely canon. Immediately shows clips from Garlic Jr. Son of a bitch! You told me! Yeah. Right, but they start off with Bardock, which was nice. He does his little thing with Frieza. And, then we move on to the meat of the story. But, of course, I mean, hey, again, Bardock is legit. I believe, they did a chapter on it in the manga. So, and they brought him up, visually in the manga. So it's not like it's just like he isn't real. He became a special.
I'm pretty sure when Goku was fighting Frieza, they had flashbacks to Bardock.
That's interesting.
I don't think I don't remember. I'd have to look. I don't think it was at the beginning, but I'm pretty damn sure Frieza at least brings up his image.
Right.
At some point when he's fighting Goku, like, hey, you look familiar. I think I killed millions that look like you before. Oh no, wait, there was that one specific monkey that I blew up.
And then it's just like, which, by the way, how funny is it? I know, like, Frieza's done a lot of shit throughout his years and stuff, but it's really funny how, like, sometimes people forget stuff like that, where it's just, it was just a fun monkey. I think he was trying to destroy everything I hold dear. It was just, it was another day. It was
amusing.
No, it was just whatever. Okay, whatever you say, Frieza. But,
it's like he just, I think I killed your father a few years ago. What? Oh, it's nothing too big. It's not like you knew him anyway, right? I'm going to hurt you. That's the spirit.
But no, let's not jump the gun just yet. It hasn't appeared on Adult Swim just yet. So before we, this is going to sound crazy to you. Before we cut the show off, don't worry, in the future we'll actually focus more on the Dragon Ball Z episodes. Today was more of a, because it's weird. They want to focus a lot on the, the humor and stuff. But, Kai was pretty, not reduced to the humor, but, it was really, as of right now, we're kind of just getting in the baby steps into Dragon Ball Z. So there's not too much to talk about just yet, other than some, the cool background stuff that we just did. And, of course, any of the little tiny stuff that we noticed. Before we end the show, right, which we still have like a 5-minute. Usually I say that 10 minutes before we end the show. Before we end the show, right, anything else you want to mention from these first two episodes that really caught your eye? That makes you either compare it to Z or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, well, just in general, because I hear people ask it a lot. I don't know if you specifically have any opinion on it, but would you have liked to see Raditz stick around a little bit more? Because, that whole big reveal, I'm your brother, I'm dead.
I get that. It's weird. I can understand why you would think that, but I think that it's weird. I understand that, where it's like, oh, maybe he could have stayed around. But I think it was a nice moment in the show where it kind of showed you that now the show is kind of, or even the manga, it's kind of, I don't say growing up, because I'm not saying when you grow up you have to start killing people. But when Goku was younger, right, he did defeat his enemies. I know certain people died, but usually they were giant, like monsters or something that could be killed, or it would just be by accident in a way. And I know technically Piccolo was the first one that it was just like, okay, yeah, you're blowing him the hell up, right? But it was just also the idea of, oh, well, you had to, in a way.
Well,
but now it's like, yeah.
At that point,
now,
Piccolo would kill, his friends first, so.
Yeah. So you look at Raditz, and it was just like there was no way of redeeming. It was just quickly we have to kill him, and it was like, oh, like now that you think about it in context, you're like, oh, so I think someone like that couldn't be redeemed. So unless you're telling me that you're going to rewrite it.
I mean, Raditz made it, very fucking clear that if you give me half the chance, I will break you in half. Yeah.
No, that's the thing. If you rewrote Raditz, that's what you'd have to do. You'd have to rewrite him into a character that would have to say to Goku, I'm only doing this for, so basically if you wrote Raditz fan fiction, which is totally cool, by the way, because I'm currently thinking of an interesting story myself where basically in Raditz's head he's just constantly saying, hey, I just want him to be the brother that I wanted. I just want him to succeed. But the problem is that that's just so anti-Saiyan. With the way the Saiyans have been portrayed and the society that he's been involved in and the carnage he's seen because of someone like Frieza, I hate to say this, but it felt like he had no chance of being redeemed. Maybe right now he is, like in the afterlife, because we never see him again. That's a bit of an issue to me. We never see him again. But hey, maybe in the afterlife he's doing A-okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. He's doing just fine.
There is one interesting point. I believe it was Tenkaichi 3. In one of the games, they actually, or it might have been 2. Either way, they have a what-if story. What if Raditz wasn't the bad guy and they didn't have to kill him right then?
Right.
Something about his Cybermen malfunctioning and, attacking him and blowing up, and he loses his memory.
That's funny.
So,
that is really
Goku
funny.
Goku and Krillin find him or something, and he's completely. He gets really scared and oh, what's going on? Who am I? Who are you? Where am I? He's just okay, calm down. We're gonna help you out, okay, buddy? He's okay, and they actually get to pal around for a while, and Raditz will get flashes of his former life, and he'll be oh God, what is that? And towards the end, he actually starts to piece together, oh God, I'm here to kill you. It's wait, what?
Oh
yeah,
really? I imagine Goku looks at him, gives him a headlock kind of hug, don't worry, I get that a lot.
Yeah, but it actually by the end of it, the arc, Raditz realizes what's happening and what's going to happen. He's oh God, Vegeta and Nappa are on their way right now. I have to stop
because they've taken the year to chill. It's okay, guys, Vegeta and Nappa are on their way, and also you haven't been training.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't gone to King Kai's. You don't stand a fucking chance.
That's some scary shit when you think about it that way. That's some scary shit.
It was kind of sad because Raditz ends up Goku's no, we can take him, it's me and you, bro. And Raditz is that's really sweet, and I love you, bro, but good night. What? And I think he ends up knocking out Goku, and he plots a course in his Saiyan ship, and he collides with Nappa and Vegeta. And
all right, at first I thought that was
the explosion. He pulled the Gohan.
Right.
He basically pulled the Gohan, a future Gohan. He says, that's great, Trunks. Thanks for your help. Good night. What?
Oh, yeah, no. Here's my issue with that. At first, I thought that was a cool plot device. Now I'm really worried what happened when Akira Toriyama disagreed with his younger brothers. Because at first it was all right, that's really a fun, cute not cute necessarily, but it's damn, he's sacrificing himself for the youth. That's it's a heartwarming moment. It's touching, but it also is kind of cute in a way where it's he's trying to spare the youngin, right? But when you see it happen more than once, just over the course, I'm just sitting here and I'm Akira Toriyama's just I'm going to go to the candy store. I want to come with you too. No, remember you have that cavity. Come on, I'll be okay. Good night, younger brother. What? Punches him in the face. Ow! Just he's like, you punched me. You were supposed to be knocked out a lot faster.
I mean, honestly, honestly, if that chain of events had, kept going, and if, even if they never did run into Frieza ever,
right.
Eventually the androids.
That's the interesting thing. We're like, you'd never have Frieza, but technically, History of Trunks could still happen. You could argue that could be the History of Trunks universe, because they never brought up Frieza, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah. Like in History of Trunks, they never brought up Frieza. Trunks. Well, actually, no. Trunks knew about Frieza. Never mind. He himself knew. They didn't do it in History of Trunks, though. Yeah. But, hey, for all we know, History of Trunks universe could be the one universe where he got killed by Cell. So, I mean, there's all these, because remember, there's like 3 universes. Before we end the show, I just want to bring this up just to everyone. There's 3 universes. There's one where Trunks comes back to the past, normally, right? And that's the same Trunks that we saw live to the end, right?
Right.
And then go back to his timeline, and so that's one universe, Trunks' universe, the one that sadly can't be changed as he thought it would because it's already a timeline. Then there's our universe where, the ones where we've seen Goku and all his friends have these adventures, and the androids have thankfully been stopped, and so has Cell. Then there's the third universe that everyone that always forgets about. That's the universe where Cell actually somehow managed to kill Trunks and then come back into the past farther than Trunks did. Right. And that
Cell is the one that they fight in the main timeline. Because Cell in the main timeline is the one that Krillin and Trunks find in the lab and say, we should probably kill it now.
Yes, because I assume in the 2 universes, the one that Trunks went back in and the one that their main universe, the androids were very easy to dispose of. So Trunks did not have to train at all. And it turned into a situation where imperfect Cell was probably just easily able to absorb him. However, in our 2 main universe, 2 main timelines, where we have, the Goku and his friends adventure and Trunks from the future that lives, he went back, and if you remember, he goes back, and then imperfect Cell's like, I'm going to absorb you. Like, I know you're there. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, bitch,
guess
come
what?
out from behind
I got
the corner.
training. Yeah, he's like, I got training. And immediately goes like Super Saiyan 1.5 and just blows him up, and it's just like, I did not see this coming. And then bam. So in that, that's how that tied up. But strangely, we had to include another 3rd timeline and possible 4th timeline for reasons, because reasons. But anywho, I would have been just fine with, he came from Trunks' timeline because, Trunks doesn't go back just yet, and Cell comes up around the same time, and instead of killing everyone, he realizes that, the androids, he wants to go into the past. That I would have been fine with, but no, they brought up the idea of a separate timeline. And I'm like, guys, we'll get to it later, but just, guys, what are you doing? But anyway, so any words you want to say before I just start plugging everything we do?
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, we would like to thank you guys for listening to Those Guys. Before I play us out with some music, I would like to mention that we have ourselves a Tumblr, thoseguysontheradio.tumblr.com, which is our main website. We post a lot of our older episodes there, episodes being stuff like Dragon Ball Z movies, Bleach movies, WWE shows. This Sunday we're doing a WWE pay-per-view. Black Dynamite, Gravity Falls, Mike Tyson Mysteries, Steven Universe. We actually did the How I Met Your Mother series finale because of how horrible it was. We've done many different shows, through us, also Pokemon video games as well, and many, many more. And, of course, you can check those out through our archive section through thoseguysontheradio.tumblr.com. Also, our Facebook has some of these as well. The newer episodes that we do sometimes every single day, but usually at least more than once a week. Which, our Facebook is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, or you can just search up Those Guys. Our Twitter is Those Guys Radio. The name is Hillbilly Jim. That is a wrestling joke that we made during one of our wrestling podcasts. And you can, again, search up our Twitter. We'll have funny pictures on, but mostly we'll be posting about our new shows. You also have our Instagram, which is, Instagram.com/ThoseGuysRadio. Sorry, Those Guys on the Radio, where, you can see, again, funny pictures, but mostly our shows as of right now. Now, all of these social media accounts are of course, to help us out by you showing your support. You can definitely, message us on there and ask us things. On Tumblr, you can ask us, let's say, show suggestions. You can also do it through our Gmail, by the way, which is thoseguysonthe.radio@gmail.com, or you can also send us show suggestions there. And also through our Gmail, you can ask us if you, if you want us to support your legal company or your legal product, and we can work with you and we can, work something out. Also remember that, again, I mentioned these social media accounts. They really help us. We can get some feedback. We know, what you guys like, what you guys dislike, things like that. And also know that, when Pokemon contests come up, which will be coming up more in the future, we're definitely having one in December, you will then, you'll have better chances of getting these Pokemon, just by liking these accounts, where, many people like our Tumblr account. However, our Instagram is new. So you can, be one of the few people to get in on the Instagram instead of being one of the many hundreds on our Tumblr. Also, we have a YouTube channel on the way, so, when that comes out, which should be sometime next week, check it out. We'll obviously be promoting it, but again, if you don't know our websites, you won't know the YouTube channel. So anyway, again, we'd like to thank you guys for listening in. Satish, say something. Satish is in here. No, wait a minute. I said Satish, our usual co-host, because I thought he would be, because usually we have Satish listening in as kind of like a backup, just in case we need him to just beat up anyone over the internet. No, but Satish isn't listening tonight. But I said Satish, and you said androids. Tristan, have you been hiding something?
I'm an android.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense, especially because of your exploits. So anyway, good night, everyone.
I will be destroying the planet.